The difference is made possible by the following small businesses: Real Property Management Focus, the choice to make when you want to feel confident and secure in knowing that your investment is earning the profit it deserves. The Financial Point, your go-to spot for all things finance. Platinum Eagle Insurance, providing the widest range of insurance options to make insurance easy and seamless. WeatherTech General Contracting, we make your home renovation dreams a reality. Lender's Choice Credit Solutions, utilizing our attorney-backed processes and only charging clients if and when results are obtained. This is how we have made the difference for over 10,000 clients and counting. And by Power on Utilities Concierge, your one-stop shop for all of your home's essential services.
What is up, difference makers? Welcome back to Real Talk with Brian Poduska. It is your favorite LO, Loan Officer Mark. Kendra is here and back and in better spirits than I've ever seen. I've got a special guest, David Betnick. We are building off of what we've been talking about last month, personal branding. We're talking directly about marketing. London, hit that music. Let's go.
What is up, everybody? Mark, thank you for that intro. Yes, we are talking marketing. So we are building off the branding topic that we had last month. The new topic of the month for the month of March is marketing, and what that means to you, what that means to your business. What is marketing, right? General term. So we'll dive into that today. For those of you who have not seen the show, you're watching Real Talk with Brian Poduska. We have rotating co-hosts. Today we have Mark and Kendra. They bring on their guests. We dive into their businesses. We get to know them a little bit. We dive into the topic of the month, which, again, this month is marketing. So that is what we will be talking about today. I am Brian Poduska, the host of the show. Part of The Difference, hashtag The Difference radio show and podcast is our platform, and our goal is to highlight local business owners, do some networking through podcasting, through radio show, and just build and buoy up the local business economy with, small business owners, entrepreneurs, putting the spotlight on them. So that is me, Brian Poduska. I'm the owner of Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments. We are a full-service property management company, real estate brokerage who can help you identify, analyze, purchase investment properties. Obviously, we can help you manage them. And then on the back end, we can help you sell them. So our key clientele are investors who are intentional about growing their portfolio and growing their real estate investments on top of whatever other investments they may have. We have partners that can help you with that as well, but we specialize in the real estate sector. So that is us in a nutshell. But enough about me. Let's get on our co-hosts here. Lennon, bring them on in. Mark, Kendra, what's up? Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, guys.
How are we doing today?
Welcome.
Great.
You know, it's funny. Here we are on a Thursday. We go live every Thursday, and it feels like we're rotating between winter and summer because every other Thursday we've had a freeze day, basically like a snow day.
That's
Today, for those of you who aren't here in the DFW area, it's about 80 degrees today. So as is normal, I guess, here in Texas in the spring, we experience every single season within, sometimes a day. So here we are on a wonderful Thursday, sunny, 80 degrees outside, much better than it has been last Thursday and the other Thursday prior to that one, which were freeze days. So good to see you guys. Kendra, good to see you back in action here. Welcome back to the show. How are we doing? How are we doing this week? You doing okay?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Good.
Oh,
good to hear.
We gotta get her talking. I just saw some sort of award that we just brought up backstage. Kendra,
Yeah.
about it, girl.
So, I was honored to receive something that I was completely shocked about. was from Keller Williams, Dallas Preston Road. They had their awards assembly today, or not assembly. It sounds like a child's school.
Welcome back to kindergarten.
Yeah, you can tell I was a teacher. You tell I taught kindergarten through 5th grade. And so I won the affiliate of the year with Keller Williams DPR. So it was kind of cool. It was just a neat honor because a lot of hard work and, trying to just be present. And sometimes it's hard, especially during COVID, to be present and to be consistent. And in sales, especially, and in real estate is, the marketing aspect of it is the consistency, but also just to be in front of people and to get to know them and just to know building those relationships. And so it was I'm just about bald. It was a nice honor, and just to know that I love doing what I do, and I want to keep doing it. So I love real estate.
It's all about partnership, right?
Yes, it is. It's truly all about partnership. It's all about partnership and being that valued partner to somebody. You're not going to, our entitle, the whole issue is that we want all of our lenders and our realtors to send us all their contracts. We want you to send all of them to us. We want you to be as loyal as possible. But we also realize that there's many other title companies out there, and everyone else wants to the same thing from the realtors and lenders. So it's just about being that valued partner that gets them across the finish line, and make sure that getting across that finish line is done in a manner that those clients remember them. They remember you, the lender, and you, the real estate agent. They remember, and they're going to come back to you, because only 25% of, realtors are used again by their past clients when they go to sell or buy. And that's not really great. And that, just because they meet somebody else, or they didn't have a great experience or something. So our goal is that no matter what's gone on that last 1 to 6 months, to make sure that final day, that it is a positive experience, and that we make sure that you get across that finish line in a good way. So
creating that referable experience is something that every marketer aspires to, right? Because as much as we can do paid marketing, at the end of the day, the organic marketing and getting to the consumer direct with your personal branding, that is what, at the end of the day, Lendon is going to make the difference, right? And so I don't want to keep my man backstage. I want to introduce my guest before I even talk about me. I'm the boring one, but we've got a homegrown stud, somebody that I had the pleasure and honor of awarding through Real Producers. I don't remember the exact award, but something along the lines of Young Gun. So without further ado, I want to bring in that young gun, David Betnick, with eXp Realty and the Good Home team. I put David very much on the spot. I called him at 125 before we expected to jump on for backstage at 145. And I said, let's talk about personal branding. We jumped on here. We're talking about marketing. David, you've got the personal branding. I know that you're ready to go to talk about marketing. So welcome to The Difference and Real Talk. Give us a little bit about you.
Hey, Mark. Well, first and foremost, I appreciate the invitation as well. I believe in this business, we kind of have to have that level of adaptability, because we're not too sure of what's going to get thrown our way. So whenever, you invited me, I said, absolutely. And then whenever the topic changed, I smiled, because I already knew that, we can definitely make it done, man. So I appreciate that. David Bensick, I'm with eXp Real Estate. Been in the business for about 5 years now. And, a little bit about me in school, I just tried to.
Yeah, David, I'm going to stop you.
About that.
Your internet is crashing on us. Can you try to jump out, try to jump back in? I'm going to bring you back, but your camera is all glitchy. You're going in and out. So I'm going to bring you back in just like 2 minutes. Try to get your internet figured out.
Hey, Mark.
Remind
him to close all tabs except for the one.
Oh, this guy is like going live on Instagram, probably on his phone, and doing all sorts of crazy stuff over there. But yeah, so David, I'm going to text you here. But as we kind of go live, I feel like now you guys have seen me as we kind of just go with the flow and go with the punches and come out on top and looking better for it. That's kind of what I get to experience every week on the lending side and the financing end. And we certainly have had a crazy roller coaster on my end. I don't want to get into all the specifics, but I guess just to finally reintroduce myself, you guys know me, Mark Kretsky with Movement Mortgage. I'm here in Dallas. I go by Loan Officer Mark. Obviously, we've got a lot of world drama going on with kind of where I come from over in Russia and before that, Ukraine. I chopped off that last name. I go by Loan Officer Mark because that last name is super difficult to spell, and I just got a little bit sick of it. But Brian, I am so excited to talk about marketing because in a way, it's exactly what you said in backstage, like from personal branding standpoint, you have to have that idea of what your personal brand is to then implement a marketing strategy. And then I really hope during this episode, we actually distinguish between marketing and sales, because there are far too many people that really are either confusing them or using them interchangeably. And they are, as I hope we all know, very different from one another. And there's that gorgeous young man right there. David, your camera is working.
Is this better?
Man, you are back.
Is it better?
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Cool.
So David, I know you, you're a real estate agent here locally.
Yep.
Talk to me about you, talk to us about you. I know you grew up here, so talk to us a little bit, a couple minutes on kind of where you came from and where you're at today.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, how much of the introduction did you guys get? Was it completely out of whack?
Elevator speech all over, bro.
Gotcha. Let's do it. So yeah, guys, EXP Real Estate here, been in the business for about 5 years now. And so, a little bit about me back in high school, I wasn't always the smartest kid in school. I just tried to sit next to him. Right. And, I believe the funny thing about that quote that I use is that, it still holds true to this day. I do my best to surround myself with, people who have the answers to my most challenging questions in all areas of my life. Right. I'm a relentless knowledge seeker. Pretty much at an early age, I learned the principles of hard work and, really the value of honesty. I began my entrepreneurial venture at about 16 years old whenever I used to go into estate sales, and I used to buy things that I can later sell for a profit. So my passion for real estate kind of grew when I got to see how people would live. And also my parents bought our first home probably when I was about 13 years old. And that became like the glue that really kept our family together. And family is actually very important to me. So, from there, especially in my early college days, I was reading a lot of self-developmental books and just learning how, some of these self-made millionaires were creating wealth through real estate. So soon after college, went to pursue my real estate career and I never looked back. I actually dropped out of university. And in doing that, I actually went through the school of hard knocks. I'm sure we all can say that we've been there. Mm-hmm. After surrounding myself with the right kind of people, I finally found my stride in year 3 of being a real estate agent in the Dallas-Fort Worth marketplace. And so I just, how I kind of found my stride was I was always determined to change the reputation that people hold for agents and really just innovate the process of buying and selling, and making that experience a little bit better for our consumers. Because I think if we come from a value add standpoint, we kind of differentiate ourselves from the competition, right? And in doing so in this process, after consistency, because consistency over time breeds trust. I gained widespread recognition in the DFW. Like Mark said, he actually had the honor of presenting me with the award. It was actually called the Rise and Grind Hardest Working Realtor Award 2021 for Real Producer. So I was pretty excited about that. Very humbling to say the least, because I was up against some top competition, and I wish there was 4 other awards because the nominees that were up against me definitely deserved them as well. So after the results of the hard work that I've had to go through, and always trying to add value into the real estate marketplace. I actually have a lot of real estate agents reaching out to me and, trying to see what I'm doing differently to get business and just constantly trying to innovate in this crazy market, right? I actually own a Facebook group called Keeping It Real in Real Estate, where I'm sharing all my tips and tricks. If anybody wants to go join, I'm also doing live cold calling because I'm a big believer in of a prospecting based business instead of being a reactive based business. Man, you know what? I'm just a stubborn visionary with a big heart. I'm willing to help anybody who's willing to help themselves. I believe in leaders who create leaders. So that's my elevator speech.
Man, that is a good one. And I guess it is no surprise, hopefully, Brian, Kendra, Lendon, why I brought this man to the forefront here. He and I very much share a lot of views. I think I love going back and forth with him on some of the different marketing strategies that we're seeing kind of on that cutting edge of what's going on that real estate innovative marketing side. 100%. And I think it's always good to kind of just continue to sharpen our swords, right? And so, like he said, being a constant, just curious person and relentless in that curiosity, I think that is what, at the end of the day, can very much make the difference. Brian, what do you think? First time meeting this guy.
Yeah, this is great. So thanks for coming on today, especially in such a tight time frame. For those who don't know, Real Producers is an organization that basically markets and caters to the top 500 agents in a certain geographic area. So I don't want to undersell, and I don't want this to go under the radar, how big of an award it is that you were given by that organization, because you're the best of the young, rise and grind. That is a big deal given the company that you were in there. So congratulations on the award. I'm sorry that Mark was the one who had to present it to you, because we probably could have found.
Yeah, I killed the pictures. I'm sorry.
Totally kidding, of course. But no, congratulations on that honor. And one of the things, the nuggets that I took out of your intro, which I think is fantastic, and what we've talked about here on the show before, is one of the reasons you got into the industry is to, what I'll call, I guess, elevate the perception of real estate agents and the real estate industry. So we've got a commercial break coming up. What I'd like to do is dive into that a little bit more on the backside of the break, and then we'll get into the topic of marketing. Until then, let's give some love to our sponsors. Hit it, Lendon.
Today's show is brought to you by the following small businesses.
Liberator Health Insurance, the best value in the health insurance industry. Are you paying too much for your health insurance? Would you like to hear about an alternative to your current health insurance? How about an average of around 30 to 50% savings on your premiums? At Liberator Health Insurance, you can see any doctor, any hospital, small copays, and low deductibles. And there is no referral to see a specialist, all with very affordable premiums. For a quick quote, call or text Greg Holberg today at 214-886-4688.
And by Wines with an Appeal. Wines with an Appeal offers entertaining and educational wine tasting events to help you fundraise, recognize your clients, or just have a fun night out with friends. At our fundraising events, we strive to provide a nice variety of reds, whites, sparkling, and dessert wines. We typically offer a good variety of the core varietals, along with some interesting blends. We sample wines from all over the world. Call or email for details on how it works and how your event could be available at no cost to you. And now back to the show.
Awesome. As always, we appreciate the sponsorship. Check those guys out for health insurance. Kendra,
hold on one second.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Give yourself a little mute button there.
Yeah, don't forget to mute.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so thanks to our sponsors.
Wines with an Appeal, huh?
Wines with an Appeal. If you, everybody loves wine, and if you want to put a twist on it, you get an appeal. So yeah, look up Mr. Rowe if you're looking for a good fundraising event at really no cost to you. Once he covers his costs, all the benefits and proceeds go to your beneficiary of choice. So that being said, what we were talking about on the front side of that break was the one of David's kind of whys as to why he got into the real estate industry and why he does what he does, why he does it the way he does it, is to elevate the perception of the real estate industry and agents in general. Let's dive into that a little bit, David, because a lot of times I'm an agent myself. I own the brokerage Real Property Management Focus. And there's different spin, whether it's property management, leasing, purchasing. I mean, it's all part of the real estate transaction at some way, shape, or form. And, when Mark, Kendra, you guys are both ancillary and at the heart of the real estate industry as well.
You ever call me ancillary?
Sorry, man. You are. I corrected myself. I
That's
said
not a bad word, Mark. It's
You're
okay.
you're the heart.
Well, I don't
Just
wanna-
because you don't have real estate in your title doesn't mean you're not the heart.
You are very important, Mark, by the way.
That's right.
We're letting you know.
We could give you a virtual hug to make
I
you feel
know.
better.
I always love to. You guys know me. Part of what I do is really try to bring some comedic relief to what we do. But what you mentioned, David, is huge. I mean, coming from I share that really motivation myself, because when I came here back in 2018, I realized like the bar is just stupid low. Like there's no other way to put it. And it's on us to really bring the bar to where we think it belongs. And it's why, honestly, like I love having you in my circle, because you are one of those people that continues to try to elevate not just yourself, but everybody around you, and really continue to bring value ultimately to the consumer, yes, but then the market as a whole. And so there's so many different marketing aspects to what you do, but you can totally feel that theme throughout all of it. So talk to us a little bit about kind of where that started and how you're leaning into that, because I see that more now than I did when you first came into my worldview.
Is that a question for me, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like recently you have started within your marketing, really leaning into that specific thing that Brian just kind of brought up with what you mentioned. So talk to us about it. I mean, it seems like it's intentional, right? So
yeah, absolutely, 100%. And so, I truly believe that the process can always be innovated, and we can always make the process of, the buying and selling experience a lot whole better for our consumer. And, kind of where, I got this was that, I was going into, listing appointments, buyer consultation, and just wasn't getting a lot of, respect, right? Not that I deserve it, but, I feel like, somebody who's truly coming from a place of trying to help, right? That, we just weren't being taken so seriously. So, after being, going through multiple trainings, multiple conferences, and being a nationally home selling and home buying advisor expert through the National Association of Expert Advisors, I realized that there's over 115 variables when it comes down to buying and selling real estate, right? And it's how you manage these variables is you're going to determine whether you assist your client with the purchasing or attracting the highest offer when they go to sell their home. And so I believe like there's a lot of agents out there who don't really, do the hard nitty gritty work, right? It's very easy to cut corners in this business. And so I believe that if you kind of go that extra mile, then, you can differentiate yourself from the competition. So, I always strive for improvement. Something that my mentor taught me is that, even if I don't win maybe a buyer appointment or a listing appointment, I always ask the client, like, hey, I'm always looking to get feedback. What could I have done better? Right. One of my core values is 100-0, which is 100% accountability and 0% excuses. So, if I didn't get that appointment, it's my fault. And I always strive for feedback. I always ask, like, what could I have done better? What was the competition doing better? Maybe there was something I forgot, right? And this kind of helps me implement further in future in my business where I can always, constantly improve. So, I believe if you do that, it starts to compound, right? The Compound Effect, which is a great book by Darren Hardy. You become 1% better a day. At the end of the year, that's 365% better than you were when you started.
Love that. And I love the continuous improvement aspect of how you go about. I mean, that is a mindset, no matter how you want to cut it, unless you're consistently trying to improve and mindful of that, it's not going to happen. So love that aspect of it. Now, you said 115 different variables in a sale. That obviously doesn't include the emotional, either fragility or solidness of your client, because you can go through 115 emotions in one in one day with your clients. That's an interesting number, and I'd love to hear more about that at some point. We don't have time to get into all 115 in the show today, but
if I did, I'd probably be talking to you until I'm blue in the face, man.
That's right. That's right. That's awesome. So let's take that. The couple things that you said there: constant improvement, mindset, and the compound effect, right? So all that kind of goes together. How does that apply to marketing? So it sounds like, and I'm going to paraphrase what you said earlier. So if you want to expand, or if I'm going off in a different direction, let me know. But
Sure.
You said that you started one way, and 3 years into it, you kind of either got with the right group of folks, or potentially maybe that has to do with marketing. Tell us more about that, and then tell us how the continuous improvement aspect plays into what you do for marketing. And then I know I'm piling on here, but what is it you do to market yourself, your business, your practice?
Gotcha. Great. All great.
It's everything, no big deal.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we only have a half hour, by the way. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Go. I'm just kidding.
No worries. So, how do we, obviously I like to think of ourselves as a commodity, right? And how do we put more value on a commodity? Now, I personally believe that there's no such thing as money. Okay. And I'm going to try to get you guys to wrap your head around this concept. I personally believe that money doesn't exist, right? Have you guys ever read the book, The Creature from Jekyll Island?
No, I haven't even heard of that one. What's the name?
That's a new one. That's a new one on me. Yeah.
So The Creature from Jekyll Island. Yeah, look that up. So, in the book, it basically says that the Federal Reserve System is not really a bank at all. In fact, it's just an open checkbook, and, that money is pumped, into our economy and printed on paper notes we call money, right? And the reality is that when we're born, I personally believe that there's a predetermined amount of money that's earmarked to be put into the market, just based on the supposed amount of value, that you will bring into the economy in the future. So what that means is that, money is a symbol of value, and the money that we create in your life, will be the money that you will create. Right? Have you ever thought about, why do we put so much emphasis on, the value of like a brand, and we pay more for it? Right. And I know this is kind of a more of a profound thought, and, it's in one, you cannot ignore to be successful. And if you focus on bringing the most amount of value, whether that's in your marketing, your presentations, just to, your consumer, then I personally believe that you do that over and over again, you will have all the money that you desire. Just like Zig Ziglar, man. I mean, you help somebody get what they want, eventually you're going to get what you want.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very interesting twist on where that could have gone. But goddamn, man, I don't know myself to ever be speechless, but that was not something that I was expecting right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go out there, Mark, and you provide as much value and you've been very valuable to me as well. If I haven't expressed that, just letting you know, I believe you offer a lot of value. You always try to improve the agent's life, and you have a couple marketing tips and stuff like that I personally like as well. But I believe that if you provide as much value as you can to the people who you have the privilege of being around in contact with, that it's going to open up so many doors and opportunities, and so that the money is just going to flow to you, right? So if you can constantly try to, try to add value where you can to, the people who who you believe that are going to be good investments, then I personally believe that you will have all the money in the world that you want. And so I started to implement this, in my marketing and my social media, just coming from a place of value. And I'm from my social media alone, I'm getting, probably, at least 3 to 5 leads a day, people asking about the market, where do they start? I'm getting people, randomly reaching out to me, saying, hey, I see you all over social media, right? And that's what I want. I want to create I want to take up as much market share as I possibly can, because if they're not talking about you, nobody's going to be referring you, right? So how do you do that? You've got to be seen everywhere. I post on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. I even got back on LinkedIn, even though I get spammed like crazy on there, because, I want people to say, man, I see you everywhere, right? So I want to be that go-to. I want to be that market authority for real estate. If somebody's thinking Dallas-Fort Worth real estate, I want them to think David Bentic.
So I hear social media being a key component of your marketing strategy.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Well, and let's talk through some of that too, because obviously, I mean, marketing can mean so many things to different people, and advertising, sales. Mark, you mentioned earlier, sales. Wanted to make the distinction between sales and marketing. There is a distinction, so I'm glad you brought that up. Also, advertising and marketing are two different things, right? So marketing I view as the larger umbrella, of which advertising would be a component of marketing, as is personal branding, business branding, which we talked about last month, right? So all those things are ingredients that go into your marketing strategy. So David, you're an EXP agent, right? I guess let me ask a question as it relates to EXP, and then as it relates to you personally.
Yes.
Do they give you a roadmap for marketing, or do they give you a blank slate and say it's up to you? How does that work within EXP in particular?
Yeah, great question. So, I mean, EXP does provide some marketing material, but they don't give you the blueprint. EXP, the broker, does not give you necessarily the blueprint of like, hey, do this and this and this. Mondays post this. I get most of that value, and with the people who I partner with at EXP, it's very vital on who you partner with at EXP. I don't want to make this about joining EXP or whatnot, but it's definitely important on who you surround yourself with and partner with at EXP. That's where I got a lot of my ideas and where my mindset has really come from. I personally believe that the best marketer is always going to win. That's something that I use that I learned from my mentors, Mr. Jay Kinder and Mr. Michael Reese. They were the co-founders of the National Association of Expert Advisors. Now, I mean, I like to think that I'm the best, real estate agent in town, but in fact, I mean, there's several great agents, right? But one would ask themselves, like, why do one sell maybe 4 homes a year versus another one who sells 100 homes a year, right? And I think the answer is quite simple: is that they're a better marketer. Right. And I think there are certain principles in marketing that you have to learn to be ultimately successful.
Let me stop you right there, because that's a good stopping point, because we do have a commercial break I want to get to right here. And then let's jump on the back end and talk about what those key ingredients are.
Yep.
And then also get into your social media campaign to help other agents, because I really like that I heard earlier. So Lennon, hit the commercial.
The Difference Radio, live stream and podcast. The voice of small businesses and the communities they serve.
Over the last 24 months, The Difference has evolved into a powerful internet media company that helps small businesses and local communities and nonprofit organizations create, produce, broadcast, and distribute a variety of shows, all designed to empower our communities, the businesses, the people, the places, and the events that make our cities, communities, and the folks that live there so very special.
With almost 1.5 million viewers and listeners in the last 2 years, The Difference and its unique strategy of positive impact branding has helped communities and small businesses be seen, be heard, and be remembered.
In a world that is consumed with negative press, media manipulation, and propaganda, The Difference, along with many others who believe in and support The Difference, understand that there is no better way to make the difference in our communities than to highlight the unsung heroes and high achievers that call our towns and communities home. And we wanted to create a platform that does just that. One that brings awareness to and reminds folks of the goodness that lives within so many of us and our neighbors.
And don't forget to hit that like, follow, and subscribe button, and tune in each week so you can experience The Difference.
Love that spot. That is The Difference in a nutshell. So that is an awesome spot. And anybody who's listening who wants to be part of this growing movement, if you will, no pun on Mark's business, but it is a movement. It is an organic based local business, entrepreneurial-based movement. So certainly like us on Facebook, on YouTube. Check us out. Check out our page and reach out to Lennon Wilson if you want to be part of the difference. So that being said, we talked about really what are the key ingredients from a marketing standpoint, David, that you picked up from your mentors at EXP. And it sounds like you mentioned earlier, after you've been in the business as an agent for 5 years, it sounds like for the first 3, you were probably planting a lot of seeds or cultivating those seeds. And then over the last couple of years, really your business has taken off. So help us understand what some of those key ingredients that went into that success. And then I also want to get into what you said earlier about paying it forward to other agents, because a lot of this could be very useful to those individuals who may be new or struggling in the business.
Yeah. Let's get back into it. And so I personally believe that just based on what I learned, that the best marketer is always going to win, right? You can spend the same amount of money on a postcard and have up to 21 times better response with a clear call to action. A couple of principles that I believe that are important is in any marketing. And, when I say any marketing, I'm talking about any social media post, any sort of, anytime you're talking is marketing, right? You are the brand. So I believe, the headline of your ad is 80% of your results, right? I think if you put the benefit and not the feature in the headline, that's obviously going to get more people to click on your ad or engage. I believe if you offer a guarantee, this is called risk reversal. That if you offer a guarantee, then you lower the barrier of entry. The more people will say yes. I believe that if you add social proof, adding testimonials in your marketing, you'll influence more people to buy. Right? It's kind of like that third party, edifying, right? The edification, right? Because there's a lot of agents out there who their business is referral based, right? It's like, hey, you got to use Mark as your loan officer, right? If somebody who you trust says that about Mark, more than likely, then they're probably going to, use him for their loan purposes. I personally believe that if you have a great call to action, that's also important. If you don't tell them what to do, then they're not going to do it, right? Just like on these previous commercials, like, hey, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, or you can find me here. Go to my Instagram, right? You can find me here. Call me here. If you're interested in learning more, call me here at this number, right? Call to actions are important. I also believe in having a unique selling proposition. So something that, me being a certified home selling advisor, we have a proven and repeatable system that's backed by market research that's able to help you sell your property for up to 18% more by using methods than traditional real estate agents. Brian, if I'm able to come over and show you all this, what will stop us from meeting at 2:00? You think if I said that over the phone to you, Brian, that you would be like, no? I'm pretty sure like, yeah, hell yeah. Come on over and show me all that, right?
Oh yeah.
Show me the money, baby.
Yep. And
so there's also, if you really want to take a look at all this, the basics, guys, because this is just from the title aspect, because what David has said, what you are doing is amazing. And just the whole idea of first of all, call to action, but also giving them the answer to the problem that they don't even realize is a problem, but giving them the answer ahead of time and telling them this is, I can fix this for you. I can make this happen for you. But also it's like with our agents, because remember we at Title, we see the other side of it. We see the communication. We look at agents as in helping with the basics of the contract or the basics of their marketing campaigns or lack of thereof, but also just the basics. And when I mean the basics, I mean, is your Facebook page public? Is it locked down? Do you have more than 300 friends? Do you say that you're a realtor on your Facebook page? I cannot tell you the number of agents that gripe about not having business. We go to the Facebook page and we're like, you don't even have real estate agent on your Facebook page. Nobody knows you're an agent. What are you doing? Do you have a business Facebook page? Are you linking that? And then it goes right back into the whole thing of, do you have a brand? What is your brand? What's your motto? What's your vision? Do you have a vision statement? Do you have, getting down to those basic integrals, which you've already got. You have that down. You've probably, like you said, you started one place and then kind of got yourself to another, which you probably changed something in there about your your vision or your mission. We all do. We all kind of evolve. But that also, honestly, is part of what we do for agents, is just help with that basic thought process of, are you truly marketing yourself as a real estate agent out there? Because if you say, oh, I'm embarrassed, all my friends know I'm an agent, they're going to hire me. No, they're not. They're going to forget. And you're going to be angry when you drive down your neighborhood and you see that somebody else has chosen somebody else to sell their house because your friend forgot you're an agent, but you didn't bother to tell them. You didn't bother to remind them constantly to be front and center in front of these people. And that's one of the things that we found, that we are trying to train agents and get them in that mindset, especially those that come to us and go, I just don't understand why I can't get business. Well, what are you doing to get business? What are you actually doing to market yourself and to get out there in front of people? And that's what we're saying. But also the fact that being value, that is also what we do. We literally try to, there's so many title companies out there, and we all have to charge a set amount that's set by state rules, state law. We have to on our title premium. The rest of the our escrow fees are pennies compared to what all the other fees are involved in the transaction. And those can be somewhat talked about and worked on depending upon situations. However, so where we try to differ is being valuable to our realtors and our lenders, being that value-added partner to help them grow, to help them make sure that at the closing table, everything goes so well and they've got a nice cheese board. If they're a luxury closing, they've got champagne. I had two today that they had $1.5 million deals. So we had Texas shaped, and somebody was moving out of state and somebody was moving into the state. So we have Texas shaped cheese boards that they went home with their charcuterie board. So it's like, we just do that extra special value add for our client, so that they continue to know that they can trust us and get them over the finish line to get their lovely little check and close on that home or close on that refi. But David is just, he has it down. You are doing amazing. And the fact that you're great.
So I want to jump in. And I think so much of why David is now really, you're saying he's amazing, is you guys know my favorite topic, mindset. Like, he worked on his mindset. He created that mindset, and then the marketing strategy and the different techniques and pillars that he have came to him, right? But it was that mindset. And what I want to, there's, Kendra, what you were talking about with the agents that aren't marketing.
Right.
But then there's the agents that had marketed and are therefore actually receiving the leads and the reaping the rewards of that labor. But then they're taking the eye off the prize, right? And they're not creating that time in their day to do those marketing activities, to do those lead generation activities, to then get it to where you can put yourself into a sales environment and do what you do best. And so, David, talk to us about that. Because I mean, there's that you're doing the marketing, but how are you actually, what made you commit to it? And what are you doing to actually do it day in and day out? Because it's a constant practice, as I know.
100%, man. Why I started to do it was because I knew it was very valuable to educate my clients. What keeps me going, what keeps me, constantly doing on a daily basis is that, I just see the kind of value and the kind of, the fruits of my labor pay off with just people reaching out to me and saying, hey, man, I see you everywhere, or, hey, I'm ready to buy. I've been, it's very humbling to have somebody reach out to you and say, hey, man, I've been following you for a couple of years. You're killing it. Like, I'm ready to buy a house. Let's talk. And so at that point, you've already gained so much authority and credibility that you don't even have to sell yourself, right? I mean, we all love those clients. We all love those clients who are just lay down clients, and that they just said, hey, I'm ready to buy. And more importantly, that they want to work with you, right? And so, success leaves clues, right? And I learned this very early on that, modeling is the shortcut to success. And so I started to look at some of the top people in my company and what they were doing differently. And so I just started to model what they were doing, more importantly, not only what they do, but how they think. And like you said, Mark, they worked on their mindset. They were always reading books. They were always trying to improve their self, right? They adapted the CANI, the CANI, the constant and never ending improvement kind of lifestyle, right? Which it's a big sacrifice. Not a lot of people can do it. I mean, this journey is a moving target, right? And I believe that progress equals happiness. And so, if you can just focus on who you become a part of the journey rather than focusing on the finish line, then you're going to be light years ahead of the competition. So, I just found the right people, the right mentors. I found, more importantly, the people who had the results that I wanted, and I just modeled them, right? I seek them out, or sought them out, however you want to use that word. I sought them out, was always, putting myself in their proximity to learn, right? And so I figured out the cheat code, and so that was just modeling what they were doing, and so that's pretty much why I do what I do.
Well, as they say, imitation is the finest form of flattery, right? So, and I think that is key. So why reinvent the wheel if somebody's already doing something successful? Go ahead and copycat that as much as possible. Which, what I heard you say earlier, David, is, you started a Facebook forum, or it may even be a business generator for you. Something that is out there to help other agents be successful. So I do want to come back. We have another break here in about 30 seconds. So I want to come back and I want to talk about that. So I want people to be able to find that,
sure.
Number one. And then number two, what I'd like to do is just call out a theme that I heard throughout all of you guys. Kendra, Mark, David, you mentioned it, very clearly. Awareness is key, right? So as far as marketing goes, brand building, awareness is key. So let's come back on that topic, but right now we'll cut to break.
Today's show is brought to you by the following small businesses.
Liberator Health Insurance, the best value in the health insurance industry. Are you paying too much for your health insurance? Would you like to hear about an alternative to your current health insurance? How about an average of around 30 to 50% savings on your premiums? At Liberator Health Insurance, you can see any doctor, any hospital, small copays, and low deductibles. And there is no referral to see a specialist, all with very affordable premiums. For a quick quote, call or text Greg Holberg today at 214-886-4688.
And by Wines with an Appeal. Wines with an Appeal offers entertaining and educational wine tasting events to help you fundraise, recognize your clients, or just have a fun night out with friends. At our fundraising events, we strive to provide a nice variety of reds, whites, sparkling, and dessert wines. We typically offer a good variety of the core varietals, along with some interesting blends. We sample wines from all over the world. Call or email for details on how it works and how your event could be available at no cost to you. And now back to the show.
All right, welcome back. Just not to break our arms on patting our own backs, but if you look at the scroll right now, our stats for 2021, Kendra, Mark, thank you for contributing to the fact that we were the number one viewed and number one ranked show on The Difference with over 200,000 views in 2021. So a testament to you guys and the quality of guests that you brought on, of which, David, you fit in perfectly with this, this dynamic. And what we try to do, again, on The Difference and Real Talk is put spotlights on folks that have their own business owners, small business owners, entrepreneurs. So just wanted to call that out because our audience is big, it's growing, and we're doing a great job. And I do want to say thank you to both of you, Kendra and Mark, for being huge contributors to that. So that being said, getting back into the conversation of today, which is marketing. David, you spoke earlier about the fact that you've gone to the. There's 2 points here to reiterate, and one, that is one of the reasons you got into the business of real estate, and what the direction that you took once you did get into it is to elevate the perception of a real estate agent and the real estate industry in general, which I think is fantastic. And part of what you're doing to support that is I heard you say you started a Facebook forum or It might even be a business. So what I want you to do for a minute or two is just go
Sure.
into what you started and what it is you do to help other agents elevate themselves. And then, as the rising tide rises, so do all the boats. So tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So about 2 years ago, I started a real estate Facebook group. It's called Keeping It Real in Real Estate. I think, Kendra, you just hopped in. I accepted your request. So kudos to you for, implementing. But yeah, I mean, I just, realized that if we can all collectively help the marketplace become better agents, then we can, help ourselves have better reputation. And, obviously I would like to have, my mission is to help, other realtors with their business as well, because I've been very blessed with the amount of business that I've had over the past couple of years. And it's very, very humbling to be in the position that I am today. I am a certified mentor with EXP. What that is that EXP vets certain mentors specifically designed for new agents to walk them through their first 3 real estate transactions. And give them the fundamental knowledge to help them build a successful real estate career. So, that is very rewarding to me. And why, I tell all my mentees who, I've got about 8 of them right now. And I tell them all that, look, whenever I first started off as a realtor, and I'm not going to blame any brokerage, this is completely on me, but, I did not have anybody accessible that I could talk to and reach out to. Like I said, maybe that was just a matter of me taking more action at the time, but I didn't have really anybody accessible. And if I did have somebody accessible, I probably would have had my first deal a lot sooner. I didn't close my first deal until 8 months into the business. So, being in that kind of position, I wanted to expand on that, right? So that's why I created this Facebook group, always sharing all kinds of tips and tricks. Cold calling is a big deal right now, because even in this low inventory market, how are we going to get listings, right? They're just not going to come to you, right? You got to be a little bit proactive. So I started going live, cold calling, live seller leads, expired leads, circle prospecting leads. And I've gotten a lot of good responses on that. A lot of people who like to see those calls. So, that's obviously helping agents kind of learn what to do over the phone. And that's kind of how I built my business. So I'm trying to get back to the agents by doing that.
There's so many, I love watching you do that, man. Like, it's always so engaging, and like, you always want to be like, well, what's he going to say next? What's up, Ashley?
Yeah. Well, I make it fun, right? Because it can be a beatdown.
It can.
It could be a beatdown, just based on the conversation that you had, or maybe even the attitude of the seller at the time of the call, right? I mean, I could say hello and I get completely cursed at, within the first 5 seconds, right? I mean, that's not fun, but nope. I just say something like, God bless you, right? And then just move on to the next call. It's like we're back in 1849, we got to go through the dirt to get through the gold. So, I mean, it's fun, and I like to share the good and the bad and the ugly when doing that. So that's why I'm glad you tune in on that, Mark. I mean, I've had some pretty colorful calls, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's engaging, but I think it's motivational because, like you said, I mean, the reality is you are not alone in that alone feeling when you get into real estate. That is the reality, and that is kind of the norm, right? And then I don't know that you realize, but like, you took ownership over it, like you talked about earlier, and you surrounded yourself intentionally with the right people to help you take those next steps. And so you have become that person, because agents don't cold call. Agents don't know how to cold call. Agents don't know how to go back to the basics, Kendra, and go back to like door knocking. And
they don't even answer their phone.
Holding open. Oh, please don't get me started.
Maybe they see Kendra calling and they don't answer. I'm just kidding.
But like, it's all like that is, it's marketing, right? But it's you being you. And I think recently I have started to attract people to me and asking me questions of how do I do this? And it's me. I'm authentically me. And everything I do is marketing, because it gets turned into marketing. Right. And so I think I think that is what makes the difference for you. And I think you should definitely continue leaning into that and being what I used to call when COVID first came, is being that lighthouse, right? And not just being that source of good because there's too much bad out there, but really being that source of information and being that pillar for our community. And so for your effort and for your day-to-day grind, man, I thank you, because we do need to individually level up so that way as a community and as a market, we can level up. Because I have to circle back to this, because I can't just let you get away with it. You're not a commodity. Like, you shouldn't think of yourself as a commodity. I am not a commodity. There are mortgage commodities out there. There are real estate commodities out there. But what you bring is a real estate consultation advisor role. And there is no commoditizing that, because you have the data and you have the knowledge to be able to actually derive what that means and to actually advise a consumer on something that could either make or break and cost them or earn them tens of thousands of dollars, like as we've seen recently, like that quickly. And so I agree with so much that you said, but I'm just going to say, man, like, I don't think you're a commodity. I think there's a lot of commodities out there. And I think it's on us to ensure that we don't be treated as commodities, because the level of value and service that we bring is not commoditizable. Like, it is, well, if we can do the things that are unscalable, which is actually being able to bring that value to that consumer, you can't be commoditized.
Because it's a true service that we're providing. And it's a value added service. It's not just, okay, yeah, we're closing your deal. Okay, yeah, we're getting your loan funded. But it's the value of how we get it done and how it's being achieved, and then the aftermath of it. And the fact that you, like yourself, Mark, and what I try to strive for as well, and one of the things that my company tries to strive for is to be that value added partner, to be that one, that those individuals that, yeah, you may not have a deal with us right now, but our client-facing attorney is going to answer the phone. He's going to talk to our agents and lenders. He's going to answer questions and help them with things where, they may not have anybody else to go to in the brokerage they're with. So, yeah, it's that service that we provide that you almost can't even put a value on. You can't, because there's a lot out there that don't do it.
Well, that's why money doesn't exist, right? Because it's how much value you can add to your proposition. And then how do you drive awareness, how you communicate that, and what your personal brand is all part of that overall marketing umbrella, right? So that is kind of what we've talked about. So, David, I appreciate you hitting on a lot of those things. I appreciate you touching on what you're doing, in your Facebook group and how you're helping other folks, and you're paying it forward. And I love that about what your mindset is and how you're going about your business. So thank you for sharing all that. We are kind of up against it on the time. Do you guys have any final thoughts that you want to share on the topic of marketing at all?
Man, I am officially, and I mean, really committing myself to video. And so I would say, if somebody is thinking of themselves as a marketer, they need to get themselves comfortable on video. They need to start putting video out. My question to David, what's your one new marketing tactic that you're working on implementing right now?
Well, you said it, man. It's just video, communicating all information via video, right? And so what I started doing differently, and I know you shared this with another real estate sales team, right, was doing live video client testimonials, right? And so that's something that I started to implement. So I did a live video testimonial with a buyer who, we know in this crazy market, it could take months for somebody to find something. And we found her something in the matter of 2 weeks. She was up against all odds. She needed to be in a certain area so her parents can help her with her daughter. And more importantly, she needed to be somewhere in a great price range. And so we found that within a matter of 2 weeks. And she was completely speechless. Like, she had goosebumps when we did the video. Right, Mark?
Good. I got goosebumps right now.
Yeah, because she didn't think it was possible to become a homeowner, especially in how wild of a market is. And so I documented that on video, and that just kind of blew the credibility and the authority out of the water. So that's something new that I'm just going to start implementing. That's actually a pro tip. I'm opening up my playbook. So I believe that if somebody starts to implement that in their business, like, they're going to have success.
Yeah, stories and testimonials go a really long way. And that rings true for anybody who comes on the show and has an awesome story to share, with the audience. So appreciate that. That's fantastic. So video. All right. That's, we're all about accountability too on the show. So we're going to hold you guys to it. Kendra, what's your number one marketing tactic?
That's exactly what Mark said in video, and that's a big one for me because I don't even like to do Facebook Live in the past. I mean, this is as bad as video as I get is our difference radio show, our show. So video is something I've got to figure out, and I've got to get on the bandwagon and do it because that's what everybody watches.
You're doing it right now, girl.
That's right. Content. And this is content that you're adding right now. So, yes. With that, we do need to wrap up because we are up against it on the time. Before we do leave, I do want to throw this one plug in there, and that is, we spoke about this the last several shows. My son, he plays hockey for the Frisco High School Ice Hockey Association. There it is right there. They won the state championship for the state of Texas and are going to represent the state of Texas in the national championship game coming up in 3 weeks. Or actually that weekend. So 3 weekends from now is when it's happening. We could use all the sponsorship that we can get. Any amount, it could be $10, it could be $50, it could be $5,000, whatever. But we do have the opportunity to get your logo, if you're a small business owner, on a t-shirt that the boys will be wearing the week of the national championships. So if you're interested in doing that, we have a few more days to get your logo on this t-shirt. Again, it's no specific amount for a donation to get your logo on the t-shirt. Anything is appreciated. So I throw that out there. Anybody interested, DM us in the messages, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or whatever venue you're watching through. So thank you in advance for that. David, thank you for jumping on last minute on the show. Your content today was fantastic. Appreciate your insights. Keep kicking ass, man. That's great. Kendra, Mark, thank you guys again for being the great co-hosts that you are. Always a pleasure to kick off the new business topic and month with you guys. So good seeing you. Lendon in the background, thank you for doing all that you do for Real Talk, as well as for The Difference and all the local business owners, entrepreneurs in the DFW area. We appreciate you. With that, we will see you all next Thursday, same time, 2 p.m. Until then, have a wonderful weekend. See y'all.